Meghan Markle here.
Today is September 11th, 2025. It is 2:13 a.m. I've been putting a list together for like an hour and a half because there have been a lot of conversation. A lot of conversation. I didn't even record anything yesterday, and I still need to gather more information, more tweets to share with you. Like for instance here, before Harry's trip, I need to record these, and I believe these were some tweets yesterday, not yet recorded. I put that's a note for myself, and these I just I'm gonna be tired tonight. I just create that, put these on the list. That's the one I'm gonna record right now. So I'm probably gonna have at least 3 or 4 videos tonight from 2 to like 6. I'm gonna be recording before the kids get up. There's a lot going on. Like I said, I didn't record anything yesterday, so I need to record some of the things that happened on the 10th. Okay, today is 11th, so I need to record some stuff that happened on the 10th. So alright, so let's just go on Twitter before I waste too much time here. Alright, first tweet. Okay, we're starting with this. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, will attend event for the Diana Award tomorrow, Thursday 11th, which is today that I'm recording this. The Duke is expected to meet young recipients of the award. So I believe this is the first time, the first year since Harry left the UK. He's no longer working royal. He's gonna be on the same space with, well, I don't know if the brother's gonna be there. Okay, so he's gonna be in the UK to do that. There was a time he did a video conference. There was another time it was his brother, and there was another time the recipients came to the US. So due to political situation, I don't think he will want anybody to travel to the US right now. But anyway, let's focus on that. Alright, OMG, I love him. Look how much good that man has done in just 3 days back on the soil. More good in 3 days than the gals first managed all year. You're doing great work. There's the heart here. Prince Harry and the UK. Love this photo. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. I'm not sure which channel I'm gonna put this because it has to do with work, and there's some stuff regarding Invictus that I'll be sharing with you. Alright, I firmly here and nowhere else. Alright, so there's Princess Diana. Look how the kids wants to hug her. And this is Meghan with her kids. My goodness, Archie is so freaking both of them, look at their legs. They are tall. Okay, I don't think there's any comments. This is extra. I don't want to get to it. Let me just like it at some... Oh! Miss and Harriman is there. Okay. Oh, look at Harry's shoes. There's some pictures going around where the squad are comparing the shoes. Alright, so at some point I'll come to these, okay? It's only 8 seconds. At some point I'll come to these. But let me focus on my list because it's a lot. Next tweet. Okay, let's pause. Look at her face in every photograph. There's a positive, wonderful glow. Also, she has this incredible ability which he kind of inherit. I told him that. Elton John about Princess Diana and Prince Harry. Alright, this one is 52 seconds. I don't know if there's a music. Let's see.
Reality was doom and gloom. Absolutely. Look at the reality then was doom and gloom, yet everybody
It's smiling because of her. She had an energy, she had a radiant face in every photograph. There's a polygraph of wonderful.
This is a very good video. Even though it's 52 seconds, to get those clips and put it together, it's a lot of work. I will not be showing it the way the creator did it, and there's gonna be some manipulation of the music due to copyright and YouTube issues with sharing other people's video. Alright, but I'll try my best to share it with you. So who did that? It's from TikTok at Queen Diana Spencer. Okay, whoever this feed is, this is the person who did it. Okay, so let's do Invictus. Oh, I almost skipped this. JTB. I don't think it's a video. It's just I think that's just a tweet. Okay, so I bookmark his. Harry was Diana's favorite, his grandmother's favorite, the people's favorite, and now he knows he's also Charles' favorite. The shade that he threw on this tweet alone. This is why I bookmark his. Let's hope Eggs is disposed, and did, not hard to see why. Still side-eyeing Charles' boy, though. Double-faced old man, that one. Charles' favorite, that's the question mark. I can't say I'm there. I'm not convinced by a 55-minute tea. Oh, he was only there for 55 minutes. I'm waiting to see additional moves on the board to determine his intent. Here. So he was responding to this. Okay, according to Sykes, William and his minions are shocked that Charles had the balls to defy him and meet with Harry. But who's the king right now? See, it giving me the same vibe during the Sandrium Summit where William was in command of everything. That's the vibe that I got for the the Sandrium Summit. Okay, according to Sykes, William and his minions are shocked that Charles had the balls to defy him and meet with Harry. Apparently, the lines are now drawn for what could be the beginning of the next great royal conflicts. Who the F does William think he's... Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Who the F does William think he is should be the question. William is not the king right now. So he has no say. He just have to wait until he's king and he could, run his mouth like a king. Charles meets Harry and stir up trouble with William. Charles is now at direct loggerheads with his son and heir, William, over the treatment of Harry. Tom Sykes. Prince Harry and King Charles just met face-to-face in London for the first time in 19 months, a meeting that almost nobody thought will actually happen. Charles know how to play the game, okay? There's a tweet that sort of make reference to that. Charles know how to play that game. There's Harry, positive coverage all over. Okay, every time they mention Harry while he's in the UK and UK TV, they always mention, oh, Charles this, Charles that, and then they make sure to put he still have cancer, so you could have that sympathy thing. So he's having positive coverage. They want to make sure he's attached himself with Harry right now. Let me pause and look for that other tweet. Okay, I just moved a whole bunch of tweets around, so we're gonna keep on the conversation of Charles meeting Harry. All right, so I changed some stuff. I was gonna have Invictus, so we changed that around. Okay, the haters are going to have a heart attack. The king meets with the king of heart. Prince Harry and the king arrive at Clarence House amid reports of a reunion by ITV. Prince Harry has arrived at Clarence House following reports that a reunion between him and his father, King Charles, could be on the card. Okay, I cannot see the rest here. Oh, there's no comment. Okay, so let's go to the next tweet. Now, this is videos and some pictures, I think. Let's pause. Okay. Why? And he's off to see his dad. 7 seconds only. I hope Harry brought his security with him, that gentleman. Okay, it's okay. That's the thumbs up. If it were me, Fragmore refund is top of the agenda. Okay, I'm not the only one who feel that way. After all that spending money, and then they did him dirty. But I think sometime God reward him over and over again by doing his own work and getting different side job with like better up, and his wife is doing well, so God is rewarding him for trying to do the right thing without, being savage like his father. Okay, so there's one comment under this here. Oh, I cannot see it. Okay, I think this speaks so much about Harry's character. He is such a better person than King Charles III and rank, William and Kate, that is. After all he and his family endure, I think he is showing us he is in peace, and no one but him and his family knows what is better for them, my opinion. I agree with that. I'm with Harry, whatever his choice, but I pray he understands fully that Gal Fest can never be trusted. That's for sure. I hope the meeting goes well for Prince Harry's sake. And let's not forget, next year, 2026, Harry has his last court case with the paper is next year. And these people, the things that you see going around the world right now, including in the US, the papers are part of that. Okay, the Murdoch, all of that, they brainwash their viewers, their readers, you name it. This nonsense that's going around the world disturbing the peace, the papers are part of that. Keep that in mind. Okay, there's a lot of things I'm not bringing up on my channel. Gun shooting, okay, that young man died. I don't want to talk about it to give my opinion, but I'm just letting you know I'm aware of that. The school shooting, it's almost like it's another day. It should be normal. But anyway, I hope the meeting goes well for Prince Harry's sake. I seen the pic of him after in the car. He looked emotional. I see the picture. Okay, I see the picture of him after in the car. He looks emotional. Always doing the unexpected. Sickening. Alright, so like one of the tweets said, that's his life, his father. If he feels like there's some, I don't know, some sort of a potential of reconciliation, that's up to him. But one thing for sure, the father knows how to play the game. He will lingering these things until he can no longer linger it any longer. Okay, so next tweet. Sky News, Rihanna Mills report on Prince Harry meeting his father, King Charles. At least she appreciates that full reconciliation will take time. Okay, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Screenshot, okay?
Harry visited Clarence House yesterday for a meeting with the King, described by Buckingham Palace as a private tea. It was their first meeting in 19 months. The last time the father and son saw each other was in February 2024, when the Duke of Sussex flew to London after the monarch announced his cancer diagnosis. Our royal correspondent Rhiannon.
Wow, it's that long? It seems like it was recently. For some reason I was thinking it was this February, but it was last year. And I did report on it. But anyway, let's continue.
Mills reports and a warning of some flash photography coming up.
It was the King arriving back at Clarence House from Scotland that signalled it might be happening. And then, at around 5:30, we saw him. Harry in a car heading towards the gates of Clarence House. A significant moment in what has been 5 years of upset and pain for the royal family. Ever since Prince Harry flew in from America on Monday, there's been constant questions about whether they'd see each other. His team less secretive about what he's been doing, allowing more cameras in. The one topic they were avoiding was his family.
One thing I have to highlight, there's Harry giving, shaking that black young lady's hand. If it was his father, he'll find a way to skip her. All right, let's continue.
After his car left Clarence House after around an hour, Harry's team let the palace confirm that father and son had had tea. When we heard that Harry's team had met up with the King's Communications Secretary earlier in the summer, it did seem to suggest that things were maybe shifting. And it would have felt strange if the two men hadn't met after what has felt like a really positive week for Harry. Nobody is kidding themselves that everything is going to be forgotten, but this does signal a gradual reset from a man who very publicly has said he does want reconciliation with his family.
And the thing we have to keep in mind, okay, I don't know if people are taking all of this into consideration. Okay, first of all, Harry was born in that institution, okay? He understands how his family works, operate, and the background that many of us, including the papers, may not know. And he also understands how the papers operate and the mentality of each individual's within his family, and also things that he uncovered while going in court. Okay?
At this point, I'm feeling very let down. It's the minority of people, especially those that read the tabloids and the press themselves. The press themselves have incited so much hatred towards myself, my wife, and even our children. That's hard to forgive. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
So when he's making certain decisions, he understands what is being at play here. When he said his family are trapped,
I'm acutely aware of where my family stand and how scared they are of the tabloids turning on them.
Turning on them for what? They're the royal family.
Yes, but it's there is this invisible what's termed or referred to as the invisible contract behind closed doors between the institution and the tabloids, UK tabloids.
How so?
Well, it is to simplify. It's a case of if you as a family member are willing to wine, dine, and give full access to these reporters, then you will get better press.
What do you care about better press if you're royal?
I think everyone needs to have some compassion for them in that situation, right? There is a level of control by fear that has existed for generations. I mean,
But who's controlling?
My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
I fully understand why he feels his family are trapped. And for me, okay, I don't know, I'm not speaking for Harry or anybody, pretty much just for myself, and probably I could be 1,000,000% wrong. For me, I feel like they messed up Charles since he was a toddler. So growing up with a fear of the tabloid, okay, and then the Queen probably wasn't really teaching him to be a tough man, despite what men in gray suit may have said. If the Queen's father was alive, maybe that training of being tough, knowing that you are the freaking king, no one is above you, or the Queen, no one is above you, okay, and respect to what is written in terms of the law in the UK. So that aspect is lost in some shape or form with the monarchy, in my humble opinion. And then there's Charles, at some point, was training William to understand the same crazy lack of authority mindset of him, to feel like the papers is more powerful than him. When in fact, if Charles had some backbone, knowing that I am the freaking king, I could say what the army does in respect to the law, because it's a constitution. I believe it's a constitutional monarchy, so he doesn't have full power, but in respect to the law, whatever is written in the law of the UK. All right, so he could do certain things. Look at this. Charles decided to tell Warwick not to provide heavy security. Okay, so again, there's so many little branches of things with all of these things that is being played here. Yes, it's Charles who probably command this, but Charles could also be just a puppet being afraid of the papers, saying that you better tell Warwick not to provide your son with security, or else whatever they have against him, okay, or whatever Charles is afraid of.
I'm acutely aware of where my family stand and how scared they are.
And the same thing can be said what's happening in the US. Okay, when you look at Trump around some other people who's not even elected, he's like a freaking coward. But when he could show his authority on some other people who doesn't have that same kind of power as the other he was showing lack of, he will show that he is strong. But yet, those, when you look at, for instance, those executive orders that he was writing, signing his name the moment he became president, you think it's Trump who voted? No, it's the same group of people who already vote, who wants to destroy America from within, vote all these executive orders for I keep on thinking of Charles, of Trump, to sign his name. And then you see the destruction. I mean, again, Harry understand what is being at play here. When he was saying during the Santa Bali speech, he said, this is much bigger than just us.
When I lost my mum 23 years ago, you took me under your wing. You looked out for me for so long, but the media is a powerful force. And my hope is one day our collective support for each other can be more powerful, because this is so much bigger than just us.
All of this, what we are seeing happening around the globe, I believe that has something to do with it, because he knows what's going on. Okay? Keep that in mind. All those political things that I've been saying in the couple years ago, the Epstein, all of these things, they all are connected. Okay? They grab all powerful people and trap them in this web of unethical behavior. And they capture them, and I don't know if they have pictures, videos, or whatever. Okay? And then these people who they caught, whichever way, either photography, photograph or video, whichever way they caught them, the people who were performing the act, they knew it was wrong. That's the thing here. They knew it was wrong. If people know it was wrong, if people know of their behavior, the shame. This is what's going on right now. It's because of shame. And they're holding these things against these powerful people. That's all that is being played here. And then they will rather destroy the country, okay, to just come out and say, I'm guilty. Yes, I did this. My name was on the list. They will rather take the entire country or even the world, because from what I'm seeing, there's another country that was bombed and invaded, you name it, Qatar, Poland, all of these. All of these are being played. Okay? Keep these things in mind when you see Harry is walking in a fine line. And what Meghan did, while they kicked Harry out, okay, not being a working royal, Meghan exit herself. She has not, well, I'm not speaking for them, okay? That's my perception of things. So Meghan exit herself and the kids out of this BS, and she's doing her thing. Okay, so let me move this back slightly. So there is a lot of thing that is being played here. I hope people understand. Okay, I move it back slightly. Let's listen.
He is kidding themselves that everything is going to be forgotten, but this does signal a gradual reset from a man who very publicly has said he does want reconciliation with his family.
Okay, reconciliation with the family. It's not the king. Okay, for Harry, Charles is two things for Harry. Charles is Harry's father. Okay, the sperm donor, and Charles is also Harry's king of the UK. So right now, when Harry goes in the UK to meet with Charles, that's the father. Harry have said this before. He didn't want a king. In terms of family dynamic aspect of things, he did not want the king in the background when the cameras are not rolling. He did not want the king. He wanted a father. But in front of the camera, Charles and Harry will act in that respective role as sixth in line or fifth in line, and Charles is the king in front of the camera. So all of this, we need to differentiate it, compartmentalize these issues. All right, so let's continue.
It is huge when you think this is the first time they've met up in over a year and a half. The last time, February 2024, was when the king had been diagnosed with cancer. In May, after losing his court battle with the Home Office over security, Harry confirmed how bad the split with his family still was, saying they weren't talking to him.
Okay, he understand what happened. Okay, after things that were, because I did cover some of these things, the issues in court, because this is very important. There were things that were shown in front of the camera, and there are things that were very sensitive. It was off camera. So the things that Harry find out off camera really breaks his heart to see his family was behind it. Again, it's the string of the puppet that was running. So I think in the back of Harry's head, he probably understood that, but yet it was being played to him. Okay, so let's continue.
They're never going to protect you.
Of course, with documentaries, interviews, and his book Spare, a lot's been said and done since the Sussexes decided to leave royal life and move to America 5 years ago.
Okay, this aspect needs to be corrected every time they say it. Harry and Meghan wanted to stay.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there.
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
With
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
They even said it in the Oprah interview. However, it is William who hired Simon Case. Okay, it seems like Simon Case knows the law very well in the UK, and he knows how to manipulate or circumnavigate around the law to make things happen for some people. And that is exactly what happened here. It was put it in writing for him to get out. So he left. Okay, so all of this needs to be said. Harry and Meghan wanted to stay, but William did not. Okay?
And still the divide with his brother Prince William, who was on a visit to Cardiff, seems very raw. Neither side is saying what was talked about over tea, but this meeting feels like a positive step forward, even if a full reconciliation is likely to take some time. Rhiannon Mills, Sky News.
This is Sky News. We'll have more of the day's news.
Okay, so that's that. Oh, there's not that much coming. Okay, why do they keep repeating 19 months as a long time for family living in different continents? My ex in London who was Irish, so his family at Christmas 11 months, if no emergency before. My family all had a international job. It was lucky if we saw each other 2 to 3 years. Oops, let's pause. 2 to 3 years, and it wasn't in tech age. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. All right, so that's a different language. Let's go to the next one. So this is a ITV report, Chris Chip, regarding the same topic of Charles meeting Harry. Let's pause. ITV News, Chris Chip says that he was waiting in the rain all day for Prince Harry's car to come into Clarence House, but seems bothered that the media haven't been told what Harry and King Charles discussed. So much for wanting them to be private. Now what? Alright, so there's probably some stipulation that Harry said. Okay, because Charles wants to be part of the conversation. Because the UK is seeing Harry as a positive thing. There's some videos I have where they show the difference between Harry, the crowd, when Harry's there, and then Williams with the crowd. There's none. Okay, so the UK is seeing Harry in a positive way, and he's doing all of this without taxpayers' money. So guess what? Charles wants to associate with that. Charles knows how to play the game. Okay? So he wants to show the people of the UK, look, while my son was there, even though I'm sick, I'm still seeing him. This kind of thing. Alright, so let's listen. 1 minute and 50 seconds.
The separation, there should have been a lot for Prince Harry and his father, the King, to catch up on. They did meet this evening at Clarence House in London, but everything they had to say was over and done with in 45 minutes. They did share something, a refusal to say what they talked about in Christmas.
Okay, and then they're gonna say it's Harry who's saying things. Probably Harry told Charles, if I'm gonna come and see you, okay, I know you want to be in the... He didn't say it, but I'm just saying. You probably want to be in the good news in the UK because that's all they want to hear. I mean, you can understand. You want to be seen in a positive way. Camilla must not be there because if that witch is there, the paper's gonna know. She doesn't give a shit about any of them. Okay? I always think that she's like a mold for the royal family and the institution to tell the papers what's happening. Okay, similar to what's happening to what's the other one, the Trump wife. Okay, let's continue.
Look, obviously one of the world's longest running family sagas. Is it any closer to a reconciliation, do you think?
Well, look, Tom, we know that the meeting went at least fairly well, and that at least some differences were possibly overcome. Not because, as you just pointed out, Buckingham Palace and Harry's office said as much. You're right, they said absolutely nothing. In fact, they said very similar statements, almost speaking in unison, and you know how unusual that is. Anyway, the reason we know it went quite well is because Harry was at an event for the Invictus Games tonight in the city of London, asked how the King was. He issued 5 words: yes, he's great, thank you. And knowing these people as best as we try to do, if Harry didn't want to answer that question, or if it didn't go so well, he would have said something quite different or just walked away.
And also, when the last time Harry met Charles, and then he did his engagement somewhere in Vegas, and then he went to Canada for the 1 year leading up to the Invictus. Okay, what's this guy? Something Reeves. William Reeves was interviewing him. He tried to get some stuff out of Harry for meeting Charles. He didn't say that much, but the UK keep on saying he did. I have some of the videos. Go back to some of my old videos. Okay, so Harry's keeping whatever he's talking to his father, not the king, father. Okay, that's between him and his father. Let's continue.
Look, down at Clarence House earlier, we saw him drive in at about 5:20. This was day 3 of his visit here to the UK, and as much as he's been doing a lot of good stuff and spending a lot of his own money as well at some of these charities he's been at, him coming in here, and you can see him in the back of the car, was a significant moment, and that is why we were all down there in the rain all day. Look, the fact that the meeting happened at all is probably more important than what they actually spoke about. And the King and his son haven't seen each other for 1.5 years. King's got cancer. I mean, the fact
There's
that
the
they were
thing.
meeting is
That's the key thing. They have to make sure to include that he has cancer. So you could be like, oh, okay. So these people are very technical. I'm telling you, I learned a lot from these people.
the most important thing tonight. And Harry said, yes, he's great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, it's progress, I guess. Now, finally, there's a
Okay. Alright, so that's that. Chucky told them about the meetup. They have been talking about it all last month and this month. But if you let them tell it, it's Harry who is doing the leaking. I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. How did they know Harry was gonna be there? I'm pretty sure Harry will not say a damn thing that he's gonna meet his father. But they were waiting. That's the thing here. So they must have told them. I find it incredible that a father and son can have a meeting without the media wanting to know every detail. It's not their business. That's the thing. Okay? Harry wants that separation. That meeting was between a father and a son.
How can you possibly have a
Selfies.
private life?
And to be honest with you, sadly, that line between public and private life is almost non-existent anymore, and we will continue to do our best to ensure that there is the line. You know, everyone has a right to their privacy, and sadly in some areas there is this sort of incessant need to find out every little bit of detail about what goes on behind the scenes. It's unnecessary. This is half my official role, but half my private role. This is what I enjoy doing, but the private life has to be private, and I hope people respect that.
Okay, now the subject and the king. Alright, let's pause this. Sheepy Sheep is grinding from ear to ear like a little boy on Halloween night with loads of candy. Reporting in the UK is so strange. They even have to mention where he sits in the car. Say what you want, but Harry dominated the coverage again. How do these grown men not find it creepy repeating they've been in the rain waiting outside someone's house? I'm telling you. Knowing them as we do, that's just it though. They don't know Harry like they like to tell us they do. And they can't tell how the meeting went from him simply answering a question saying he's well, thank you. Chris swear he has the inside scoop and just be saying any damn thing to sound incredible, laughing my ass off. This isn't ship. And what world do you think you get to know their discussion? If that horse was there in the meeting, the media will know. And then they will say it's Harry who said. Geez, these petty people are entitled. Why would you want to know what the father and son talked about? Okay, that's the key thing here. Father and son. Okay, whatever is here, that's it. Camilla will leak details of the conversation. Yeah, if Charles go and talk to Camilla of what he discussed with Harry, then it will go to the media. And then that probably will tell Harry, don't talk to your father anymore. On a Wednesday, the dumbest journalist ever. I love the fact that meeting was until the evening and those idiots had to spend all day standing in the rain just waiting for a quick sight of a man in the back of a car. They really are desperate. Alright, next tweet. One thing that I think happened, it's probably Harry who set the meeting with the father. The father probably wanted to meet with Harry and Harry decided to set it up. And the way that I think Harry made the setup happen is between engagement. I think I haven't covered that portion yet. It's September 12th. I'm still editing. I think I did 4 videos on the 11th. So I'm editing the first one out of 4. And then there's so many other news that's coming out. As of now, Harry is in Ukraine. Just to give you a perspective where I am right now as I'm adding this to the video. What I think Harry did to meet with his father is to make the meeting in between engagement. Okay? That way, before, that way people will be waiting for him. You understand what I mean? If, for instance, is at the end of, after he did all the engagement he was supposed to do while he was in the UK. Okay? And then, you know, if he leaves, he leaves. Nobody will know if he leaves or not. And I think there was a meeting for the Diana Award thing. I have not covered that yet. Okay? So, after he met his father, there were some people who were waiting for him to meet with him. So, if something were to happen in between, people will know. They'll be like, where's Harry? Where's this? And he just met with the king. So, how will I say that? Every camera or everyone will be pointing at Charles. Where's your son? Where's your son? What happened to him? This kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's get back to the original recording. I think there's more comment, but let's move on. I still have, yesterday's videos to edit? Not yesterday. I didn't record anything yesterday. The day before. Alright, so there's the picture of Harry in the back. Prince Harry driving to Clarence House to meet with King Charles. An event Saturday for Willie, who has been trying to throw a wrench in the Duke of Sussex London humanitarian visit from day one. And I don't think Willie knew about this meeting. Okay, of course he didn't. Otherwise, he will have had raging incandescent headlines dominating the news cycle. I wonder if that's why they packed him off to Wales. Okay, the most pathetic privileged man ever. OMG, crossing fingers. There's that. Charles is probably doing this to get a slick dig at Bill. Nah, he just wants to have a positive news coverage. Plus, he's writing off Harry's visit. That's it. That's the part here. Plus, he's writing off Harry's visit going so well, and it makes Charles look like a caring father. That's exactly that. Okay, Harry is suited, very professional indeed. What a man. But the fact that King Charles had to go behind Will's back just to see his own son, what does that say about that family dynamic? Well, we don't know. Let's just say allegedly. If that is the case, okay, it's because of William's rage. Okay, we've seen in videos where William is hitting his father in the back of his head. So Charles probably afraid. Okay, and Charles trained William. Okay, taking him to the tabloid and all of that. Charles already afraid of the tabloid. If the tabloid backing William and William is physically violent toward him, so Charles probably afraid. But we do not know. Okay, allegedly. They announced the schedule of US visit clown. They can't wait for the next day to announce it. I'm gonna just put this. You could pause and read. Okay. Oh, Richard Palmer. Just pause and read. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. Meghan was clear about it, except people were not listening. She said she had lost her own father. She had lost her own father.
That may have been one of the things that upset her. And of course, the photographs were a setup. I was set up by a guy named Jeff Rayner and another guy named Dylan Howard, who was with American Media, I think. And the whole thing was a plan to actually mess up the wedding.
But she will not want him to lose his, because she has her mother and she re-established connection with someone from her father's side. Friends from both sides should touch grass. Okay, let's see here. She retweeted that Harry and his father are meeting up. That's their choice. So before everyone starts berating Harry's, remember his father is ill and nobody knows what has been going on behind closed doors. Harry is known for his empathy. Okay, this. She said this in the cut interview. Yep, but trust people to forget or ignore, especially fans who think they know better. They keep ignoring her words. And let's not forget as well, okay? This is something I always feel. When Meghan and Charles first met, I think everything was going well. Everything was going well. But what happened is that, in my humble opinion, Men in Grey Suit, that machine that's connected, that's happening in the US, around the globe, they had an agenda going on. Okay, they were doing it steadily, okay, without people knowing, but they were doing their damage, very quietly. So when they realized that Meghan and Charles' first meeting was going well, they had to remind Charles, remember the plan, or else. This is what I think. And then, ever since, Charles went to his savage ways again, including his son. How the hell will someone who works at the palace has more priority than the king's son? Okay, I remember when Harry was when Harry find out about the, just look at the screen. I think I have those screenshots somewhere about the aide who was leaking information and all of that. That's what I'm making reference to. And then when they told Harry to remove the person's name from the lawsuit, and Harry said no, and then this is where pretty much some of the things, the security issues start happening. Okay? So how could a son of a king has less priority than someone who work at the palace? So something is going on. All right. So the moment Meghan and Charles had a positive interaction, so those people who's creating the division that's going on worldwide had to remind Charles, remember the plan or else. Okay? This is my point of view. Okay? Reading between the lines. Nothing was written anywhere about what I'm saying here, but I'm reading between the lines. Agreed, families are complicated and they can hurt you more than anyone else ever could. But Charles is Harry's only living parent and he is ill. The Derangers are going to be attacking Charles for meeting with his own son. We are better than them. 100%. Lips is all over the place already. Alright, I'm not one to take pleasure in other people's misfortune, but I've just spent the life for 30 minutes reading the massive meltdown with one fool saying that the king should step down. If I could, I send each one of them a box of tissue. I saw a few saying that they have lost it again. They can't differentiate, compartmentalize things. Okay, right now Harry was meeting his father, not the king. Okay, to us, to the rest of the world, Charles is the king of England, but to Harry, it's two things. In private, that's Harry's father. In public, that's Harry's king. Okay? I saw a few saying that. Okay, let's move on. Next tweet. Alright, so there's another picture of that. Different topic, or is it the same thing? Alright, I hope Prince Harry find peace with knowing he has moved mountains to find peace with his father.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.